husband and wife Lou and Adelle Barlow present Raw Impressions.
Give me all your raw impressions, your thoughts, your words, your time. It's all about communication. Yeah, speak your mind. Give me all your raw impressions. All your raw impressions. Feed me your life. Husband and wife. That's you. Talk, 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 talk. Talk, talk, talk to me. Talk, 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 talk. Talk, talk, talk to me. Please. Hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome to Raw Impressions. Yeah, here we are.
The Freeform Podcast.
Mm-hmm. Did we say avant-garde Freeform Podcast? Was that something we were throwing around, or did that just come to my brain?
You threw that around, and then Four-Track Man echoed that.
Ah, yeah.
I think avant-garde is a pretty big word.
Okay.
I think we have a pretty... I don't know. We have a folksy podcast. If there's a way to be avant-garde and folksy, which
You say avant. I say avant.
Avant.
Which is it?
Probably avant.
Avant-garde. Avant-garde?
Avant-garde. That's the remnants of my Midwestern accent. Instilled upon me until the age of 12.
Well, I still have my Midwestern accent.
You sure do.
Gosh.
Thank goodness for that. I love it.
Comes and goes in,
I was raised in Michigan. You were raised in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of M's. Minnesota, Massachusetts, Michigan. Mm. So...
I don't know if our listeners can tell, but I have a congestion in my nose. So
it's adorable.
Okay, I'm glad, because I keep hearing like my heavy breathing in the microphone.
That's okay too. My heavy breathing is unacceptable.
Oh.
Oftentimes I will edit it out because I do dad breath. When I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
Man, when I was a teenager and I realized how loud older men breathed and the sense of superiority I felt. Like, oh God.
It's really, really hard for kids to tolerate things like that with older people, like their breathing, the way they eat, the just little sounds they make, the clearing of their throat, the coughs, the whatever, the sneezes.
I've heard that's evolutionary.
Oh.
The irritation is what is part of what's meant to make you want to get the fuck out.
Oh, right. I think we've taught, like this is part of like pushing yourself out of the nest. Yep. Like, okay, get me away from these elders. I gotta live my life.
Like my grandfather eating ice cream and clicking the spoon against his teeth. Mm-hmm. Perhaps I've already mentioned this on this podcast.
Hey, let's bring it up again. Yeah.
I'd like to also, just to get along with the episode.
Okay. Let's get along.
I always want to come into these episodes like a little bit lighthearted. But last night I woke up at 3:00 in the morning, as I do. And I was in the middle of, I was working on a panic attack.
Oh, honey.
I was working on fear.
Okay.
Fear was working on me. Yeah, because usually that's what the first thing, the middle of the night thoughts, we all know it. It's like it's basically the thing.
It's fear.
It's the fear. It's the thing that's kind of bugging you.
Do we ever wake up at 3 a.m. and go, I love this. Those joyful
Hey!
thoughts are just floating in and out of your head.
It's always...
It's usually something dark.
It's always your baseline. You know, for me, it's always my baseline anxiety. And right now, the baseline anxiety is about the state of the world. And it's a very familiar feeling because I've had it for a long time and I've been writing songs about it.
Yeah.
It took your fortune to be here. That doesn't mean you were ordained. Pointing finger gun, you amplify. You soak your truth in blood and justify. You must be terrified. I heard you were caught between the deed and word, out there making such a stir, and hate what we've become. Before you listen to your heart as it sped and felt unsafe, well, don't you know that fate will tease you, leave you in this sorry state? Where's your faith? I heard you were caught between the deed and word, out there making such a stir, and hate what we've become. Until there's blood, it's understood that nothing means the thing it should, and no one's ever out for good, so nothing good gets done. Privatize and buy your freedom. Privatize and buy your freedom.
I love that song.
Privatize is the name of it. That's a live version. I recorded it. I recorded that a while ago.
Oh, you didn't do that this morning?
No, I was gonna do it, and then I was like, I can't remember all those guitar parts. I'm like, wait a minute, I have a pretty, fairly pristine version, if I might say, of that song. Mm-hmm. And I even have a video of me playing it as well. So
wowza! Well, you could put that, and
it's already been dropped in.
Yeah,
everybody's already seen it.
Wow, amazing. Well, Privatize is from Reason to Live, the album Reason to Live, Lou Barlow's solo album.
Yeah, I started recording that record for something called the Artist Enabler series for Joyful Noise, which was like this kind of, I ran for about a year and a half of me just coming up with new songs and unearthing old songs.
That's true, it was both, yeah.
Yeah, and that was, it was around the time of the first T administration.
The first go around.
The first go around with Uncle T, and I was feeling like I needed to tell. Yeah, I wrote some tunes for him. That one, and so now things are kind of.
When you say you wrote some tunes for him, what does that mean?
I was thinking about him, and
What were you hoping for him to hear?
I wanted him to hear them. I knew that, of course, they wouldn't really register, but I was thinking about him. I was concerned. Mm-hmm. And even saying that, like, my heart rate starts to. I was concerned. Mm-hmm. So
for the outcome, I was concerned
about him. I was concerned about the information he was receiving. I was concerned about the people whispering in his ear. I was concerned about the agenda that maybe he himself was not aware of, that was lurking behind him, delivered by some characters, some actors. Yeah. And I felt, the idea of privatizing, it was like they want to dismantle the government and further privatize things, which has been along the goal of the Republican Party. So, and now to see it really being acted out in earnest with aggression is, it causes me anxiety. So,
yeah.
And I don't want to talk about it too much because I get really inarticulate or the words really cloud. That's why I like to write songs, is because that gives me time to sort through my thoughts and come up with very concise, to me, where I can concisely describe what I'm thinking about and put it, and reduce it to, a paragraph.
I think, to me, those songs, and we can pivot, and that's fine. I just want to say that for me, those songs were the most poetic way I think anyone's ever addressed what was happening. I really was just really blown away at how you talked about your observations of the administration, what that was like, how it felt to you.
Yeah, I read a lot back then. I'm not doing that as much now. I'm kind of, I'm finding myself
needing to distance more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're not alone in that.
Yeah. But at the same time, I don't know, I do want to, sometimes information can make me feel better.
Yeah.
Even if it's not great information. Sometimes I do. So I kind of vacillate between wanting perspective and wanting to know what's going on, and then also just feeling like something that has been chasing me my whole life, like anxiety about like domestic discord has haunted me since I was a child.
Yeah.
Because
right.
Growing up in the early 70s, there were like a lot of bombings. It was leftist, I would say. At least that's the way it was framed in the newspapers. There was the Weathermen, the Symbionese Liberation Army, which kidnapped Patty Hearst, and then sort of everything culminating with Charles Manson. I sort of had this idea of hippies being these. And it's interesting to see in my lifetime, watch it evolve into another dark entity. So, yeah. And it creates a very primal anxiety in me. And I feel so bad about it. I feel bad introducing it or having it even ghost our life and to ghost me. And
I feel really helpless to help you with it. That's been a theme since, in particular, since Uncle T came to town and plopped his ass up there. You've really struggled with it. Really, really struggled with it. And I think as your partner, that's been such a challenge to try to find ways to shake you out of that place. Your eyes just literally they change when I can tell you're thinking about it or feeling fear and feeling scared or feeling worried about people that you feel like you can't help. That's such a big part of, I think, your sadness and your fear is this wanting to help people that you can't get to them, and you want to take care of them, and you worry so much.
Yeah.
So, oof, yeah. Is that an empath? Is that what you are? Is that maybe what they would call that?
I'm an empath.
Yeah.
I've got some of that, I
You
guess.
might be. I mean, I don't know. It's possible.
Yeah. I don't think I'm a psychopath.
I don't think so either. No.
I don't think so. I don't think I'm a sociopath.
No, because you care too much. I don't believe those people. They kind of like they don't have the feelings of fear or something. I don't know. Like they can just barrel into. I don't know.
I kind of don't think about what other people are feeling.
Right. No, you're
it's
thinking.
not-
I think
not
almost
on
too
the
much
radar.
about what other people are thinking.
Like other people are not entirely on their radar.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
real, Mm-hmm. And that can be just about anybody. And, regardless of political stripe or upbringing, even, it doesn't matter. Some people don't care. Mm-hmm. And that's or they just have different things they care about.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Oof, duh.
I wanna know.
Everyone. Oh my goodness. How are we all doing?
how are you all doing? You.
Oof. Me? How am I doing? I mean, everyone knows I'm also not great right now. I'm struggling with my mom's illness, just that on top of Uncle T and the world and the news and then all this stuff, and then it leaves me paralyzed. I'm like, I don't know. So then therefore I'm not really posting much because I can't really think, and I'm dealing with so many things that are so sad right now,
what in your life, what's a day-to-day thing that you've been thinking about?
Oh.
You got something to say about just a day-to-day thing, an observation? Something you wanted to talk about?
Well, there was something that was kind of on my mind, actually. This has nothing to do with anything we just mentioned.
Good.
Okay.
Good. Good.
Okay. So, and it's not going to like make or break the world or anything like that. It's just a thing that I noticed on my most recent trip to Los Angeles, which was that last week?
Exactly a week ago. Well, yeah, you flew back exactly a week ago. No, you flew back 6 days ago.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's
Okay.
a week.
So, right. We all know the world is in okay. Right? The world is in a whole
Yeah,
place. Moving on. Okay.
Gone.
All right.
Day to day.
Day to day. So, I do have an inquiry I'd like to put out there to everyone. So I was in Los Angeles and two things happened that, I've got balloons floating around me right now for some reason in my, did you see that? No, you wouldn't see that. Anyway, for some reason, I just said two, and then we're recording ourselves on photo booth and balloons just came up around me. Anywho, that'll lighten the mood. So, two things that I noticed on my trip to Los Angeles that got me thinking about tipping and tipping culture, tipping etiquette.
It's tipping has taken on all kinds of new dimensions in the last 5 years.
I feel like it actually has, right? Mm-hmm. There's now a conversation about tipping. I feel like that was sort of something that was like off limits. We were like, we're not going to talk about tipping. We're not going to fuck with tipping. Don't talk about tipping. Tipping is tipping, and you just do it. Also, the prevalence, is that the right word, of just how much tipping now?
Oh, more and more tipping.
Everything, there's a tip for everything now.
They're starting to tip in Europe now.
Oh, shit, really?
A little bit.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. Because it sounds like when I was younger, I mean, listen, there was specific things for tipping, and it wasn't that confusing or that vast. It was like just very specific things. You're like, that's a tipping thing. Now, it's kind of so many things that you're kind of left scrambling and going, well, do I tip on this? Do I not tip on this? Does the person now hate me that I didn't tip on this? Or so here's 2 things that happened to me in my travels that kind of left me scratching my head about the tipping. One of them was that when Izzy and I went to Los Angeles, we had to take a shuttle. Okay, a shuttle bus from our Sixt rental car to at LAX. So the Sixt building is, down the road from LAX. That's the airport there. And then you got to take a shuttle. Anyway, but when you get on, what's my point? So basically, the Sixt shuttle comes and picks you up at the airport. All right, so you're waiting. You got off your plane. You're standing there. You have your luggage. Your Sixt rental shuttle pulls up. People start piling on. So it's me and Izzy, and I have 2 big suitcases, and she has a little suitcase, and we each have a backpack on our backs. And it's not easy for me to lift these suitcases up those stairs. They're heavy, guys. And do I travel light? No. Do I need to? I don't think so. Didn't know that was required. So in the past, I felt like whenever the shuttle would pull up and the door would open, whoever was behind the wheel often bounded down the stairs ready to grab the suitcases, right? And then put them in the rack. Okay. So the door opens up. The person is just sitting there. Seems to make no effort or interest or gives no indication that they are going to get up and get luggage. And everyone kind of seems to quickly go on with this already in mind that they're carrying their own suitcase. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, oh, weird. Did this just happen in some time that I wasn't aware of, that now we are in charge of our own suitcases getting onto the shuttle? Izzy and I were near the end of getting onto the shuttle. So then I'm like trying to hurry her on, and I'm standing there at the bottom on the ground with these 2 big ass suitcases. And I kind of like look at the person and I say, can you please help me? And they like begrudgingly get up, make this like kind of, get down. And then they really like kind of make a show of this is a pain. This is extraordinary what you're asking me. And I'm thinking, I feel so confused and I feel so ashamed and I feel so embarrassed and what's happening? And oh my gosh. So then they kind of like even just shove my suitcase, not even in the rack. They just sort of like slide it on the floor of the shuttle. And then I'm like left lugging up the last big suitcase. And then the person says, just lay it on the ground so it doesn't roll around. I'm like, okay. So I do. And then I'm thinking, wow. This is totally new for me, and I'm feeling so strange, and I'm feeling very awkward. And then I look over at the shuttle person, they're driving, and then I see they have this like kind of plastic thing attached near the wheel, which holds tip money, cash. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's got money in it, and so I'm thinking, okay, so now am I just tipping this person for just driving? Is this just a driving tip? And I'm going, do I feel like I need to tip someone who's just literally driving in a circle all day? Like going from the Sixt to LAX.
You want that extra. You want the extra.
Yeah. And then so it's a conundrum. I'm feeling a conundrum.
Because it does happen every time on the shuttles where they do help you. I often will bring my own suitcases on.
This was my first time.
And they're
Correct.
like, hey, no.
I'll get it, buddy.
I'll get that. In fact, I often like have to sort of back off and let them do it.
Uh-huh. Right.
So this is a shift.
Thank you. I felt
this is a shift.
Unprepared. Okay.
But it could have just been that person's style.
Maybe.
That was just their style.
Yeah.
That's their shuttle. That's the way they roll.
Okay. So this is true. Maybe that's just their thing. Okay, so you guys, listeners, let me know. Is this a thing now?
Well, you're wondering if it's a general trend.
Right, is this a general trend? Because I seem to be the only one who had pause when the shuttle bus came. To wrap it up, I was kind of going like, do I tip this person? You know? Because then when we got to Sixt and I had to then get off of the shuttle bus, the person driving the shuttle bus again got up and seemed really irritated by the fact that they then seemed to like, okay, I guess I better take at least one of this bitch's suitcases down, you know? And I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to, you know, quickly get the other one and Izzy and da-da-da, and people are just staring at me. And so I get down and I have like some bucks ready and I, you know, and then I just put them in the thing and I'm thinking, that's the right thing to do. You got to tip, right? Okay. Go about my day. So then, another tipping time that left me kind of confused was we were at the Boston Logan Hilton Airport Hotel, and we stayed there overnight. And in the morning, Izzy and I went down to the little coffee shop that was in the lobby. The coffee shop opens at 5:30 in the morning, and it has breakfast sandwiches and lattes and water bottles and all that shit. Okay? There's one woman working the coffee shop, and there's a guy in front of me who is on the phone the whole time, you know, like I was telling you, kind of typical Boston dude, like really thick Boston accent, talking sports with his bro on the phone, whatever, ribbing each other, yucking it up. He orders like a latte, I think, and a chocolate croissant. And he pays with a credit card. He signs. I notice that he doesn't tip because his receipt is still sitting there. When I go, then I'm next in line, and I just see it before she grabs it, and I notice he just puts a slash for tip, and he did not put any cash in a little cash thing that was on the counter. Mm-hmm. Oh, what was that? What was that sound?
The front door.
Oh, okay. So then I'm thinking, why didn't he tip her? You know, to me, this is, she's kind of doing a lot of things, right?
Tippable.
To me, this is tippable.
Traditionally tippable.
And I am speaking with a very strong bias on this because I had years of working in coffee shops. Mm-hmm. And tips were very, very important to me to live and to be able to pay my bills and my rent, because they paid us garbage. When I say garbage, it was literally at the time like $4 an hour, guys. It was crazy. So you needed those tips to eat, to live, to get gas. And you are doing a lot. You know, you're running around. You're doing a lot.
What people do behind those counters now, and they often like really, it's because they've cut all the staff. So generally, there's like one person working
right
at a coffee shop. Sometimes at Starbucks. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. A lot of times, just one person, you know, making the sandwiches.
She was doing everything.
You know, pressing the button on the drink machine.
Yeah.
But back in your day, boy, you weren't just
back in my day. We didn't just press buttons. We actually had to make those espresso drinks.
You did.
Like truly grind the espresso, tamp it, etc.
Adele is an award-winning, or almost award-winning.
Truly, I was second place. Yeah,
second place in the Caribou
Olympics. I know.
Caribou Olympics.
I doubt that even exists anymore. Because what would be the point? Who could press the button fast enough? So this is a very long-winded way to say I had kind of like a little sad feeling in me that he didn't tip her, and I thought, oof. I got to make sure I tip her, which obviously I wasn't confused about anyway. I was planning on tipping her, and I did. But when I tipped her, she like specifically stopped and looked at me and said, "Oh, thank you." And, you know, I'm a sensitive Sally, and I felt like crying. I was like, oh, geez. You should be tipped. And I wanted to say, and you're probably not getting paid very well either. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she gets paid great salary. I have no idea.
Well, they have up the salaries.
I'm sure.
At a lot of these jobs.
You don't get paid $4 an hour anymore.
Yeah, like McDonald's and stuff.
Sure. Tipping. So that's been on my mind lately, guys. Tipping.
I like that because I was thinking about tipping.
You were too?
No, I liked how you were telling me about tipping, so I was thinking about tipping rather than...
Yeah. Oh, I gave you something else to think about. Yeah.
Distraction.
That's the name of the game. Distract.
Yeah, distract. Give me all your raw impressions. Your thoughts, your words, your time. Fucking tip your goddamn barista. All the fucking time.
Yeah. Let's just do it all the time right now, okay?
You know, if they're not lifting the bags at the shuttle anymore, you just want to know.
I just want to know. Can someone let me know?
Well, everyone should hear my Sixt commercial. Remember the Sixt
Yes,
commercial?
we should link back to the old commercial when we talked
Remember the
about
Sixt
Sixt.
commercial?
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to this Raw Impressions.
America, are you ready for a new rental car company? We've got a fleet you can't resist. Put your trust in Sixt. Supplies Enterprise. We rent BMWs for half the price of your Ford Focus. Avis Alamo, we've come to lay you low. We save thrifty customers a real dollar. We've got Range Rovers and better uniforms. Ow, ouch! That hurts. Hot, cheap, you can't resist. Get Sixt. Have Sixt.